Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to the Bismillah podcast by ADL Advisory. I'm your host, AbdulAkeem. Let's talk about the new ownership economy. Let's talk about real-world asset tokenization and what it means for everyday investor. Imagine that there is a building sitting in the heart of Malaysia or somewhere in Kuala Lumpur, which worth hundreds of millions of ringgit. Again, imagine that there is an asset sitting down in Middle East, or perhaps maybe a gold vault sitting somewhere in Africa. But with all the imagination, you can't have a piece of it. That is just by the old rule of investment, which in its nature has given opportunity for high net worth institutions, family offices, and top class people, or maybe 1% or 2% of the rich and wealthy people in the world. That is where the world was. But today, the world is changing. The world is beginning to be rewired. And why is it being rewired? Because we are seeing the advent of tokenization. We are seeing the advent of opportunities that innovation is bringing forth. This is what this conversation is going to be all about. And with me today is none other than Saif Khan, the founder and CEO of iWealthX. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Brother AbdulAkeem, for the kind invitation.
Thank you very much for having to accept our invitation to be here with us today. It's a big opportunity to have you having different part of the world on different roles, different region, Finland, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, you were in India, now in Kuala Lumpur. And all of these years speaks to different caps, speaks to different roles, different tensions, and also leading in different situations. Interestingly, I mean, you moving maybe from your background in tech, academia, and also moving into your finance background, serving different roles, and again, eventually pivoting into Islamic finance. One would agree that, I mean, many people would want to choose a lane and stay right in it.
Right.
Saif says no. He has seen several roles and several lanes, and you're being in intersection, if you would, of all these three. What informed the journey into Islamic finance?
Okay. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. I think I did not see this as 3 or 4 different streams ever. For me, when I studied technology, I was a student of technology and then worked for a very long time. Technology taught me how to build at scale. Right? I was fortunate to be part of the entire tech revolution, starting from the floppy drives to vibe coding today.
Did you say floppy drive?
Yes. I don't know how many of
the black diskette or something like that.
Yes, the black diskette and the smaller one, and those were the days when data used to be stored on floppy drives.
Of course.
So subhanallah, I'm from that generation. And today, to a point where if you can code if you know English, it's as simple as that. So the level of abstraction is massive, subhanallah, right? So I've been part of that journey. I've seen it. And so for me, technology was a way to build at scale, right? Finance was something that I studied at my master's, but that was conventional, so I never ventured into it. And post-COVID, I was drawn towards Islamic finance because I felt there was an opportunity with my understanding of technology to build something that the Muslim community and the ethical investors would benefit from, right? And then when I saw blockchain technology, I realized that all of this can fit into a beautiful narrative, into a beautiful solution that can democratize wealth creation, enable access to people who never had that access, just like you mentioned.
Yeah.
As you can see, the wealth gap has grown. The rich have gotten richer, the poor have gotten poorer.
Of course.
One of the fundamental problems due to which this has happened is structurally the high net worth individuals and the institutional investors have always had access to extremely high quality, high value assets, like a solar farm. right? For you and me to invest in a solar farm, we'd probably need at least 20 to 50,000 ringgit. We don't have that kind of money. We probably have 2,000, 1,000, 500.
Yeah.
How do we participate, right? Private equity, gold, mining, all of these were excluded. With blockchain and real-world asset tokenization, I suddenly saw an opportunity. I saw an opportunity to bring all of this together and create a solution that helps people. And so that's exactly what we're doing at iWealthX. We help democratize investment. So for a common person, we help you make money by investing small amounts in real assets which generate real passive income. That's one part of the story. And then help you distribute that wealth to the less fortunate in the society through social impact. So we have two types of tokens: the investment tokens, which help you invest in revenue generating projects with small amounts as little as $100. And then once you've made money, you can give your zakat, sadaqah, waqf or CSR funds to social impact projects.
Interesting.
So we're trying to do both.
I think in your introduction now, you mentioned a couple of things that interest me. A few of them we are going to get into later on.
Sure.
I want to touch on first. You talk about blockchain, and you mentioned the fact that what brought you into this intersection is the fact that your background plus your finance plus also the fact that you saw the need to help democratize or create access, as it were, in terms of distribution of wealth and access to how you can also generate wealth. Now, blockchain is sitting in the middle of this as the tool, right? And we are looking at Islamic finance, or we are looking at iWealthX, which is largely Islamic finance built in terms of its operation and all. So how are we able to balance the Sharia need and the gray area of blockchain in terms of its disclosure, in terms of being able to tell the code that, hey, codes, you are used to not revealing. you need to reveal this. So how are we able to bring this together, the Sharia part and also the nature of a blockchain?
Sure, thank you. Blockchain is a technology, right? So it is, think of blockchain as a tool for you to utilize. In and of itself, blockchain is not haram. It's like, let me give you an example. Let's say you have a knife. You could use the knife to cook a beautiful meal, or you could use the knife to kill somebody. So knife in and of itself is not halal or haram. So the blockchain is the knife. Think of it that way, right?
Okay.
It's a technology, and the technology can be used any which ways.
Yep.
The good thing about blockchain is that, and technology in general, is that technology does not lie like human beings do. Technology does not cheat unless you tell it to cheat.
Okay.
In and of itself, it can't do that. It's really dumb in that sense, right? Although we call contracts smart contracts, but you really need to code what happens in the contract. So there's really a massive advantage in using technology, because technology will do what you ask it to do. Whereas human beings may not be so efficient or even honest to do what you ask them to do.
Yeah.
So I feel that technology is a great leveler. And if you can utilize technology effectively, we can do a lot of good. And the Sharia element, Sharia gives us a set of rules to follow by, it's something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. The core objective of Sharia is justice, right? Now, here's an opportunity for us to implement that at scale in a very efficient manner using technology. And that's really what drew me to blockchain and Sharia, because now you have an opportunity to hard code Sharia into a smart contract.
Okay.
And then that smart contract would continue to do what it's exactly supposed to do without any bias, without any, external influence.
Yeah.
Because it will simply execute what you ask it to execute. So it's a very good opportunity for builders to really come up with solutions that benefit. And Sharia gives you the overarching framework and the guidelines.
Okay.
So the technology is the implementation vehicle. And together they can create a real source for good.
Inshallah, resource of good. And now moving on to, inclusion now. Because when you talk about democratization, you are talking about inclusion.
Correct.
You are talking about how you are able to give opportunity to those that have been automatically excluded or taken out of the sect ab initio. So now looking at democratization in practical aspect of wealth generation, let's look into, for example, Kuala Lumpur. Here we are.
Sure.
The kind of investment that we are, used to seeing around, which is always in the area of real estate.
Sure.
You see a lot of towers, condos standing up to 60, 50 stories.
Sure.
And you see the selling price, it's always as cheap, if you would. Not for my class, right? Yeah, as cheap as maybe 400,000 ringgit. That is
on the lower side.
On the lower side, starting price.
Yeah.
So maybe after 1 year along the line, it go as high as maybe 750, and when you're talking about reselling, it continues to climb up. So democratization, in this sense, where you are able to make this kind of assets, you are able to flip them into the RWA, right? Are we able to, in terms of from the investor side and also from the project owner side, how are both able to benefit?
Sure.
As an investor, will I be fine to say, okay, Mr. XY said with 200 ringgit, okay, come in and invest. For how long is it going to take me to raise the fund? And especially looking at real estate that is very complex in terms of price, in terms of pipeline of different third parties that are involved. How are we able to implement this in terms of democratizing?
Sure.
It?
So before I answer your question, I think I want to touch upon briefly what is tokenization, right? Real world asset tokenization.
Yeah.
Essentially, tokenization is nothing but creating a digital twin of a physical product. It could be any asset, right? A physical asset or a financial asset. So when you create a digital twin, which has the same legal rights as the real product, then you are tokenizing the asset. The advantage of tokenization is that, like you've mentioned, in the past, if there was a building, a real estate condo, let's say in Kuala Lumpur or any large city like New York or London, and the cost would be prohibitive for an individual retail investor. They could not. But if you were to somehow fractionalize it and tokenize it, break that property into a million pieces, and then each token could be sold for as little as $100 or whatever, right? So you suddenly provide access to people. Now, that's tokenization fundamentally. The industry is very new, right? It's not more than 10 years old. Started with the ICO boom, but then died off. But now with regulations maturing, it has come back, right? One of the best asset classes to be tokenized in our experience is green energy.
Green energy.
Yeah, especially in Malaysia, right? Malaysia as a government has set a target of 70% of its energy production to come from green energy. So they essentially want about 70% of the energy produced in Malaysia to come from green sources, whether that's solar, wind, biogas, whatever. As part of that, the government is actively pushing the usage of solar panels and green energy products. It's encouraging banks to give out loans. It's encouraging people to move to green energy and all of that. But not every business has money, right? So this is a classic problem, right? Where small companies are starved for cash flow. They don't have enough money to put up a solar plant for their small business. That's where tokenization comes in. So let's say you and me and a few hundred of us have 2,000 ringgit each, and we want to deploy this money. So as Muslims, we want to deploy this in an asset that A is halal, which is the first thing. 2 is real. It is not speculative in nature. Right? 3, there is no gharar, there is no riba in that. And 4th, it actually gives me a regular income. Right? Now, for someone like us, it would be very easy now, maybe in the future, inshallah, for us to invest in our investment tokens with iWealthX. So we have green energy tokens where you can invest with as little as $100 and buy a portion of a solar panel. The panel generates electricity, which is then sold to a customer, and you generate real revenue. Right? And it's typically a 15 to 20 year project. So you get regular revenue for the next 15 years, quarterly or even half yearly.
Are there current use cases for this?
Yes, there are some use cases. It's early stage. There are some small private tokenizations that have happened, and we are looking to build a regulated platform because we have seen a lot of scams in this space in the past. So our approach has been slightly different. We want to start with getting a license and then launch the platform. We're already in discussions with one tier 1 university in Malaysia to offer a solar solution to the university. So we have a customer.
Interesting.
Right? And, once we finalize the discussions, we will open the campaign. It is live now for registration, meaning you just have to register. And say, yes, I'm interested in the token. When it opens, we'll come back to you.
Early registration.
Registration, right? So there is a lot of activity. So green energy, in our opinion, is a very good candidate for tokenization for retail customers. And even we could have some institutional allocation because it's a very safe asset class. It's not as volatile as equity, and it is halal, and it gives you a better return than a bond. So it sits somewhere in between these two, right? So it's perfect for retail investors and also some family offices if they would like to, especially the ones focused on impact investments, right? So I feel that tokenization can really enable access for everybody, and in a manner that is consistent with our beliefs and which is ethical and Sharia compliant.
Ethical and Sharia compliance, and that speaks to regulation, because when we talk about ethicality and compliance, we are talking about a set of rules that have been set for you to follow in that space. In terms of rules and regulation now, part of it divided into two, obviously. One part is the Sharia rules, which you need to fulfill. The other part is the government rules, the regulation. Now, looking at the fact that this is, like you mentioned, still growing, is a new niche, and regulation in this context now, how are we able to move around and also being able to carry this out in terms of set rules that governments have put in place? Bearing in mind that Malaysia stands to be, or currently is, the lead as far as regulation is concerned, talking about new innovation, new products and tech generally. How are we able to maneuver? By maneuvering, I mean meeting the rules and regulation of the government. Is it a all new business, or is it maybe government maybe catching up with innovation? How does it sit with you currently in your experience?
So regulation is very critical, right? Because real world assets are currently classified under crypto. Loosely classified, although they're not crypto, right? In a true sense, this is not crypto. These are digital assets. And because they're backed by real world assets, whereas cryptocurrencies do not have any real world assets. Now, having said that, I think regulation is emerging. It's getting more clear by the day. The passage of the Clarity Act in the US has brought about a big change. Of course, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Dubai, UAE, Bahrain, all of these jurisdictions have done a very good job in enabling clarity around, specifically around digital assets and cryptocurrencies. Malaysia recognized cryptocurrencies way back in 2019, right? And they put out a framework, generic for digital assets and crypto, right? So but they still don't have a very clear framework for real world assets, which is something that is evolving. I think Bank Negara and SC both are quite committed and they're active in their engagement with the industry, and there have been attempts to get feedback from the industry to understand how this could potentially be governed. So I think the regulators in the Southeast Asian side have been very proactive, mashallah. Whether that's Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, they've really engaged with the industry, and they've tried to understand and regulate this in the most practical manner, I would say. Right, so I think we're seeing, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing a renewed interest in real world assets. Otherwise, post the ICO boom, RWAs were dead. Too many scams, too many people running away with money. There was no regulation because all of these were simply pure crypto speculative non-fungible tokens. There was no legal rights. There was no consumer protection. There was no, there was no asset backing per se. And at the end of the day, you didn't know if the coin was real or not. But now with changes in regulations, a lot of it has improved. So the industry is much more mature than it was, let's say, 5-8 years ago. Having said that, we're still in early stages because we're still figuring out how do you tokenize real estate, which is, in my mind, is fairly complex. I think Dubai has probably cracked it to a certain extent, because the Dubai Land Regulatory Authority has worked with a fintech to come up with a tokenized real estate solution, whereby you can buy a portion of real estate for 2,000 dirhams.
Wow.
And you can register it in the Dubai Land Department. That's a fantastic achievement. The other jurisdictions are kind of trying to emulate. So they're like the benchmark right now. But having said that, I think other jurisdictions are fairly active. They're engaging. So there's a lot of activity happening in this space. For us, we believe that regulation is important because it enables consumer protection. It enables a strong, stable business environment and Sharia compliance. Right? It's just good business. Right? So we're trying to combine both the liquidity and the growth and the ease of use of crypto with the regulated banking environment, and create a new token or new asset class.
Interesting. So I just want to quickly chip in that regards, meaning that being a niche founding environment now, as far as reward assets is concerned, how does it feel? Coming from an environment that is well regulated, grown already, advanced and also matured market, and having to have several use cases, coming into somewhere that is just trying to what is this?
Figure out,
How does it feel?
I'll be honest, it feels lonely, right? It's very lonely. They always used to say it's lonely at the top, but if you're building a niche product or a technology that is not really matured, it's more lonely, right? But I guess we have a lot of people, especially Muslim founders across the world, trying to build stuff like this, similar, not just in the blockchain space, but in other areas as well. So I think I always try and reach out to them, and we kind of exchange notes. Then there is an opportunity to work with partners like ADL to figure out the Sharia side of it, because you are the Sharia experts and we need that kind of expertise. So there's a lot of learning, sharing happening with partners, where you bring in your perspective and we can share ours, and then together at times we build joint solutions. So it's an interesting phase, but it's a fairly lonely phase. I would say.
I can tell. So now looking forward into maybe another 5-10 years, how do you see iWealthX looking at the level of impact, or perhaps maybe the level of commercialization, which of it, or even the social extension of impact that you are able to achieve, looking at how you are able to also relate and work with local businesses here in Kuala Lumpur.
Sure. So for us, our vision is to help create, profit with impact.
Profit with impact.
Right. That's our motto. right? We believe that wealth has to have a purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't give you wealth just for you to spend. He is giving you a test. Wealth or lack of wealth is both a test. If he has given you wealth, then he wants to see how you're going to use that wealth.
Yeah.
Where is it used? First is how did you make it and where did you use it? We want to help people do both.
Yeah.
We want to help them build wealth responsibly in an ethical, Sharia compliant, halal manner. We also want to help them share that wealth through zakat, sadaqah, waqf, through our vetted partners. And our dashboard has two views. One is your impact, your investment view, the return on investment, and then we also have a social impact view. It could be how many Qur'ans you have funded, how many orphan children you have supported, whether you've contributed to a water well, any cause that you are interested. We would try and showcase those kind of campaigns to you for you to invest from your profits, and we are trying to automate that. We have two platforms. We have something called Asset Link, which is the investment platform, where you use your investment tokens to invest. And we have Impact Trace platform, which has vetted NGOs and third sector companies that are doing social work, right? It could be water wells, orphan care, it could be Quran distribution, it could be, anything, many areas, right? That the Ummah needs and people need. Now, these two are key platforms. We have developed a protocol called Give from Gains. This is automating giving. Essentially what it does is, when you register with the platform, we identify which are the causes you are passionate about. And when you're investing, you can automatically select from the campaigns a certain portion of profit that you want to donate. So when you get your dividends, the smart contract automatically routes that money to those campaigns. No human being involved, no hanky-panky, no question of any delays. It goes automatically to those campaigns. And those partners are committed to full transparency. Right? So that's the other innovation. There's one more stuff. We are working on a very interesting project with a foundation called Nasirul Quran. They have the second largest Quran printing complex in the world in Putrajaya. Subhanallah. Putrajaya. Yes. And they have a campaign that is funded by 𝐁𝐞𝐚, where they are distributing 1 million Qurans translated into 30 different languages around the world. 30. Yeah. They've already done about 500,000 or more. They're doing more. Now, as an individual, you can donate to a Quran. You can waqf.
What is your role in that? What is your
Thank you so much. So today, when you donate to a Quran, what happens? Tell me. What do you see?
I donate and I move on.
You donate and you move on. What would you like to see?
I would like to see, where is this Quran eventually landing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where is it in Senegal? Is it in Dakar?
Correct.
Is it in?
Correct.
Yeah.
So imagine a future tomorrow when you have donated. The day your donated Quran gets printed in the press in Putrajaya, it will reflect on your dashboard. The day that Quran is then shipped to, let's say, Senegal, you get to know. The day it lands in Senegal, you get to know. And the day that is picked up by the local NGO to distribute, you get to know. So you follow the journey of the Quran that you donated. That level of transparency doesn't exist today. We're trying to build that.
Inshallah. And that has been the conversation around the new ownership economy. The reality is that currently we have investment being non-democratized only for those that have the wherewithal, the less than 5% of the world, the institutions and the family offices. Islamic finance is helping to bring about democratization, access, and impact. That is the opportunity we have been able to explore in this conversation. Do feel free to like, share, comment, and suggest to us what other topic you'd want us to venture into in our next episode. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.